Hello and welcome to the Week in Review, a summation of your weekly headlines on the Western Slope. I'm Chad Roderick. Now we start with President Donald Trump calling for the release of convicted felon and former Mesa County Clerk Tina Peters. Let's take a look.
President Trump threatened to take harsh measures Thursday morning if Tina Peters is not released from prison. The former Republican clerk is serving a 9-year prison sentence for her role in a voting data scheme during the 2020 election. In a fervent post on Truth Social, the president exclaims in all caps, "Free Tina Peters," calling her a brave and innocent patriot who did nothing wrong. But the district attorney who successfully prosecuted her case tells a very different story.
She actually videotaped on her phone, filmed on her phone, the passcodes to the Dominion voting systems that would allow the security settings to be changed on the computers, and then she gave those passcodes to somebody else who ultimately forwarded them to a third person who put them out on the internet. So it turned out that Miss Peters was the biggest threat to our voting systems herself, while she was the elected clerk and recorder who we elected really to safeguard those systems.
This isn't the president's first attempt to secure Peters' release, having labeled her a hostage and a political prisoner in a social media post back in May, blaming a communist persecution for her continued imprisonment. A claim disputed by Rubenstein, a Republican elected DA.
The case was brought by me, a Republican elected district attorney who was elected by the same constituents that elected Miss Peters. It was brought at the request of an all-Republican Board of County Commissioners that were also elected by the same constituents that elected Miss Peters in a county that was overwhelmingly for President Trump.
We reached out to the White House and have yet to receive any additional details on the harsh measures President Trump has in mind. But Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser took to X this morning in response to the president, saying in part, quote, "He will not be intimidated by the Trump administration's threats. Colorado will always stand for the rule of law, even when the president refuses to do so." Ariana Boss, Fox 4 News.
And Governor Polis was also mentioned in Trump's post. A rep from his office sent us a statement saying in part, quote, "We appreciate the president's awareness and recognition of Colorado's wildly popular ability to vote by mail, which is safe, secure, and has led to record turnout for Coloradans of every party," close quote. Lawyers for Tina Peters have been contacted for comment, and we have yet to hear back. Now, voting in an election is a way to make your voice heard, but now a potential executive order from President Trump would affect most Coloradans, whether that be good or bad. According to our sister station, KDVR, all voters, regardless of party affiliation, use their mail-in ballots. 94% of Democrats, 92% of Republicans, and just under 92% of unaffiliated voters. Kyle Kawamoto has all the details.
Voting is a way of communicating, but on Monday, President Donald Trump announced plans to issue an executive order to alter the U.S. election system, focusing on mail-in ballots and electronic voting machines.
You can never have a real democracy with mail-in ballots, and we, as a Republican Party, are going to do everything possible that we get rid of mail-in ballots.
Donald Trump ultimately is trying to grab power ahead of the 26th election and says he will ban mail ballots in this country.
The president argues that mail-in voting allows significant voter fraud and aims to bring honesty to the 2026 midterm elections. Mesa County Clerk and Recorder Bobby Gross said in a statement, "It's important to note that under Article 1, Section 4 of the U.S. Constitution, state legislators are responsible for setting the times, places, and manner of elections. Congress can make or change those rules by law. Elections belong to the citizens of Colorado, not the federal government." According to Gross, 98% of Mesa County does mail-in voting and returns them through a secure ballot drop box. But Griswold tells me about how the executive order could face legal actions.
It will be challenged in court and it will be struck down.
We reached out to the governor's office for comment, and Polis responded saying in part, quote, "This widely popular ability to vote is safe and secure and allows Coloradans to make our voices heard without unnecessary barriers. President Trump has flip-flopped on mail-in voting over the years and personally voted by mail," end quote. Congressman Jeff Hurd also tells us in a statement saying part, quote, "Election integrity is not a partisan issue. Voters of all parties believe every person's vote is sacred and should count. We also agree that our elections should be safe and transparent."
And there's some intrinsic feeling of writing it out, putting it in the mailbox that, makes you feel really good.
Kyle Kawamoto, Fox 4 News.
On Wednesday night, City Council came to a decision on what to do with the 4th and 5th Street pilot project south of Grand Avenue. Ren Lewis was there and has more.
South of Grand Avenue in the downtown area, we will be reverting to the pre-pilot configuration.
At Wednesday's City Council meeting, after more than 2 hours of public comment,
I want to express my enthusiastic support for continuing the 4th and 5th Street project.
If it's money you're concerned about, the best thing you can do is go back to 2.0.
You're considering spending more money to make our roads less safe.
And contentious council discussion.
I'm really disappointed in this council. I'm disappointed in this process.
Give us all a chance from now on and have a little courtesy.
I did give you an opportunity to speak. I don't want to necessarily argue about that.
Council voted 4-3 to revert 4th and 5th Streets south of Grand Avenue to their pre-pilot configuration.
No.
Hard no.
Mayor Cody Kennedy says the changes will cost about $70,000. He tells me he thinks this is the most financially responsible decision.
No matter what we did, even whether we went with Pilot 2.0, whether we do a full reversion, there's going to be costs associated with not just repainting, but if the pilot would have persisted, it would have necessitated a lot of concrete work in elimination of the bollards.
Kennedy says the council spent a lot of time listening to both sides of the conversation.
There were some very engaged community members that were very much in favor of a bike lane south of Grand, and those that were absolutely opposed to it. So it's a difficult time when we're trying to take all that community input and really balance that with the information that we've received from staff.
At the meeting, City Manager Mike Bennett said the changes should be expected soon.
The schedule would start on Tuesday, September 2nd, so not this following week, but the week after. It would be a 3-week period of time doing those reversions.
Ren Lewis, Fox 4 News.
Now, in other news, a second case of measles has been confirmed in Mesa County. Now, public officials held a press conference earlier today to share new details on what they're doing to respond to that. So, Marge Tobin has more.
Mesa County is now dealing with its second confirmed case of measles in just a matter of days. Health officials say they are moving quickly to prevent any further spread of the virus. Xavier Crockett, the executive director of public health, speaks more on their response.
Our team is working diligently to stop the spread of measles in our community. We were prepared and are ready to respond to this.
The county has activated emergency response protocols, meaning more staff, longer hours, and increased monitoring.
We are pulling staff from other departments right now to bolster our staffing for this response. We activated our incident command structure last week, and what that looks like is we have about a team of 12 to 15 right now that are working around the clock to monitor what's going on with the measles.
While the 2 confirmed patients are not publicly identified, officials say there may be a link between the 2 cases.
What I can say about the 2 cases is that they may have been in a common exposure area. We're still unclear about how both of them contracted the virus.
Despite the new case, officials are urging the public not to panic, emphasizing that overall risk still remains low. Mesa County Public Health will continue to monitor the situation closely. Marge Tobin, Fox 4 News.
Thanks, Marge. Now, Grand Junction Regional Airport's new runway project is moving forward. Mesa County Commissioners and the Grand Junction Regional Airport Authority met today and advanced the project. Kyle Kawamoto was there and explains what it means for the airport.
1764, runway 11, clear for takeoff.
What goes up must come down. On Tuesday, the Grand Junction Regional Airport Authority and the airport executive director Angela Padalecki moved forward with a major infrastructure project at the airport after receiving multiple grants from the FAA. The grants total almost $200 million for the runway project.
We feel confident that we are on track for the runway to open by 2029. We're working with our partners at the FAA to set things up to where we may be able to open the runway as early as 2028.
Padalecki says grants like these will cover up to 90% of the project, but an additional $17 million was given last year, which helped the airport to only cover 5% of their budget, while the total amount from grants will cover 95%.
6434, taxi to parking via Alpha Bravo, monitor ground point 7.
So this saves us over $680,000.
The project consists of constructing a new runway just north of the existing one and will convert the existing runway into a taxiway, all while reducing maintenance and planning expenses. I'm standing here on what appears to be a pile of dirt, but in less than 5 years, all of this will be turned into concrete.
So this is a substantial grant. It's $12.5 million, and it's being delivered under what's called the Airport Improvement Program, which is an FAA program that helps airports invest in infrastructure.
It's really great to have the support of Congressman Hurd here at our airport and more broadly in aviation. He sits on the aviation subcommittee.
I asked Padalecki why the middle runway needs to be changed. She said in 2000, airport planners identified pavement needs within 20 to 25 years to maintain operational integrity and maintain the existing runway. Kyle Kawamoto, Fox 4 News.
Patrick Snedden, the man accused of causing a crash that killed 3 people, including 2 CDOT employees, entered a plea in court today. Ren Lewis has the latest.
Mr. Snedden pled guilty today to 4 felonies.
On Tuesday, Patrick Snedden, the driver in the September 2024 crash that killed 3 Mesa County residents, pled guilty to 3 counts of vehicular homicide and 1 count of failure to exercise due care.
The plea agreement called for him to be able to argue for any lawful sentence up to 30 years in prison. That was a cap of a prison sentence.
District Attorney Dan Rubenstein says he considers the plea deal a win for the victims.
Obviously, this is an extremely difficult situation for these family members that are going through all of this, and it's a difficult situation for Mr. Snedden's family because one of the victims in the case was his wife.
Rubenstein says the time it took to resolve this case was pretty standard.
It took a little bit more than about 8 months for this case to get to a resolution. That's a pretty standard time period for a case this serious if somebody's facing 30 years in prison.
The time was mostly due to Snedden's legal team taking time to advise him after the DA's office made him an offer for a plea deal 2 months in.
At that point, the ball's really in their court to investigate the case and decide how to advise their client. It took them approximately 6 months to complete their investigation, make the decision that they wanted to take the plea, and then to go ahead and get court scheduled to enter that.
Snedden's sentencing hearing is scheduled for October 9th at 1:30 p.m. Ren Lewis, Fox 4 News.
And for the first time since July 10th, the south rim of the Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park is open to the public, making today a special one for recreationists in Montrose County. Some people were waiting in line at 7 a.m. for the park to open. Kyle Kawamoto has the details.
I'm here by the Visitor Center of the Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park, and Monday, it was a very exciting day, and because it is the reopening of the South Rim.
It's a huge relief. I know I can't speak for everyone in Montrose, but I can tell you that a large portion of Montrose thought that this wasn't going to happen the rest of the year.
Visitors from all over the country and the world flocked to the south rim of the Black Canyon of the Gunnison. Even a family who was from New Jersey decided to stop along their road trip.
We had planned our route, and it was saying the south rim was closed. And last night I checked, and I was very excited to see that it was opening up.
As soon as the good news hit the Camaraderie family, they were ready.
And so we were up around 5 and out the door by like 5:45, and we're just so excited because we've been chasing national parks.
My favorite part about national parks is the views and the Dune Ranger bed.
But only 2 points are open in the park. Tomichi and Gunnison Point, along with the Visitor Center, will be open for the time being.
Campgrounds are going to remain closed the rest of the year. And another thing that will be closed the rest of the year will be East Portal Road. That's the only road that goes down into the gorge itself. Those will remain closed the rest of the year, just because of damage incurred by the fire or the instability of the rock.
What's suggests that about 3/4 of the affected campsites could be occupied, but due to ongoing damage, they will photograph everything and post it online. They will keep the site closed until other work is completed. The park plans to expand its open areas over time. As visitors are walking through this charred particular area, they don't have to look too far to find that life is already starting to grow from the burn spots you can see here. I was able to ask West, how did the National Park Service determine whether it was safe for people to return to the park?
The reality is, up here on the top surface where everybody goes and where we're allowing the public to stay is perfectly safe because there's a lot of burnt area in between where they are and down in the canyon where it's still burning in places.
West tells me it is very exciting to see guests come back to this park and see what they call the great outdoors. Reporting at the Black Canyon of the Gunnison South Rim, Kyle Kawamoto, Fox 4 News.
And a D51 expulsion report for the 24-25 school year was released Tuesday night, and it shows students are being expelled at nearly double the rate compared to last year. Ariana Boss investigates.
A recent report published by School District 51 on Tuesday shows a troubling statistic in student expulsions for the 2024-25 school year. Compared to the year prior, Mesa County students are being expelled at nearly double the rate.
We've tried a number of different intervention techniques over the last couple of years to try to see what we can do to help better support those students.
Despite those efforts, expulsions are on the rise. According to D51's chart, 99 students were expelled in 2024-25, compared to 50 students in 2023-24. The main reason listed? Felony assault.
We've seen a much more serious incidents occur and more acts of violence that are happening, true assaults. These are not students who are engaging in fights because they had a disagreement, but these are very purposeful and hurtful behaviors that are intended to harm somebody.
But why are student assaults happening at such an alarming rate this year? D51 tells us they are all too often seeing students struggling with severe depression, thoughts of suicide, and anxiety, a crisis they attribute to some of the increase in assaults. Why kids are suffering at seemingly higher rates of mental illness this school year compared to last is still a question mark. But D51 wants to remind parents and caretakers fostering children's mental health starts with having a trusted adult to talk to and trust long before they step foot into a classroom.
If that student feels connected to a trusted adult and can talk to that trusted adult about problems and issues that are going on in their life, we can mitigate a lot of these situations from escalating to acts of violence and aggression.
Ariana Boss, Fox 4 News.
And today, the 100th batch of freshmen arrived on the campus of Colorado Mesa University, and they made history as the institution's largest student body to date. Ariana Boss found out how students and faculty are celebrating the college's centennial birthday.
The vibe is electric. It's exciting.
Happy birthday, Colorado Mesa University. Today, the school celebrates their 100th anniversary. Despite being a century old, the energy on campus is young at heart.
Always the start of fall is amazing, but the fact that this is our 100th class, our centennial celebration, I think just amplifies it so much that the energy it's palpable.
On Sunday evening, the Alumni Association hosted a centennial ceremony at Houston Hall. And in true college spirit, last night's party is still going strong. From barbecues in the CMU courtyard to a top-tier Mexican popsicle delivery service, the excitement of the new school year has students quite literally bouncing off the walls.
Being, part of the freshman class of the 100th year, it kind of just it pushes you to want to be, more a part of everything.
I love the networking and even all the teachers here, the professors that I've met. They're really cool.
Networking may be easier this year with CMU's freshman class being the biggest to date, but for many students, the fun of college life wouldn't be possible without scholarships funded by the CMU community, which is why the school is celebrating its centennial birthday by amping up their fundraising efforts to make sure their student body stays strong for another 100 years to come. As for those lucky centennial freshmen accepted into the 2025 class, returning students and faculty ask them to remember this tiny detail as they embark on their CMU journey.
Go to class.
Go to class.
Go to class.
All the fun that we're having, don't forget to go to class.
Ariana Boss, Fox 4 News.
And students at Colorado Mesa University are back in class, and there's a program that prepares future firefighters for the dangers they may face on the front lines. Now, in fact, the program has doubled in size, bringing in students from all over the country. Kyle Kawamoto has all the details.
Are you ready? Sir.
As wildfires in western Colorado start to settle down, a group of young firefighters are starting to take action, and their numbers are growing.
Again, when I first got here 2.5 years ago, we had 5 students going through the academy. And see that this year having 30 students coming through here, it's amazing to see the difference, the excitement in their eyes as they're coming into this academy.
You got this. Okay.
These are some of the courses the recruits are learning about.
All right, here they come. Go.
And what it takes to be fighting fires.
We're only 4 days in. I feel like I learned so much already. I mean, my mind every day is thinking about what's next.
From using a hose
Ouch on the left.
to even communicating with your team.
On the left. Guys.
Students are getting first-hand knowledge. For example, White was helping fire crews during the South Rim wildfire and is now passing his skills on to the next generation of firefighters.
And I think what really helps the students is having that hands-on experience, being able to give them that information that we have from all of this years of service. Being able to say, yep, this is the fire we were on, this is what we did.
It's very impressive because it is starting to get super competitive and people they want to be here. They want to put in the time and effort.
While White tells me some recruits felt like they couldn't do the task, that wasn't the situation.
There definitely has been times where I'm not necessarily I'm thinking, am I cut out for this? But there's times for sure that I've struggled, especially when it's 100 degrees outside and I'm in all this gear.
But it's the camaraderie that gets them through the day.
I think everyone is so supportive of each other.
We all come together and help each other out. Sometimes I'm not the best in the classroom, but then I have a lot of guys that know what they're doing in the classroom and they'll help me out.
Kakamoto, Fox 4 News.
Now that does it for the Week in Review. As always, tune in every Friday for a summation of your weekly headlines. I'm Chad Roderick.